The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
At New at 6, San Antonio police are looking for some help identifying some suspects believed to be responsible for a string of burglaries at Market Square. Investigators think these guys in the pictures burglarized the tents of vendors there after the fiesta festivities ended. At least 4 booths were targeted, one reported being hit twice in 2 days. Items stolen included purses, wallets, hunting knives, and kitchen utensils. The vendors say the burglars also damaged their booths. Anyone with information on who these suspects are has to call Central Property Crimes at 210-207-7990.
It was widely expected that a special legislative session was going to happen, and now we know the date. Governor Greg Abbott announcing today that Texas lawmakers will return to Austin on July 8th. His office did not specify which items would be on the agenda for that special session, saying that announcement would come before the session convenes. But 2 items Abbott described as priority bills, one on elections and one on bail reform, died in the final hours of the regular session. This special session could also include addressing restrictions on teaching critical race theory, which refers to an academic discipline that explores the role racism plays in institutions and structures of governance.
And I want to be clear about what just happened on the Senate floor. Every single Senate Republican just voted against starting debate on legislation to protect Americans' voting rights.
Major voting rights legislation put to the test today in the U.S. Senate, best known as the For the People Act. It failed, as expected, along party lines.
Democrats couldn't overcome Republican opposition to get those 60 votes needed to bring up the bill for debate. Jesse Degollado now with some of the twists and turns that led up to this point.
Too often it's been said Americans take voting for granted. But now?
Do you think democracy is in jeopardy?
I'd like to think it's not in jeopardy. It's definitely been dinged.
UTSA political scientist John Taylor points to states like Texas trying to enact or have already adopted voting restrictions. While up in Washington, there's been another fight over 2 pieces of federal voting rights legislation with their own safeguards to avoid restricting elections, the other requiring federal approval for any changes to election laws.
We don't think we should federalize our elections. We think the states and their counties have done a pretty good job, traditionally, of running our elections.
Power-hungry politicians have acted along partisan lines to make it harder, not easier, for eligible voters to cast a ballot and guarantee that that ballot will actually count.
Is democracy truly in jeopardy, as some say, or is it a power grab, as some conservatives are saying?
It's probably somewhere in the middle, as is typical of politics in our country. Yeah, both parties want to find an advantage.
While the U.S. Supreme Court is expected to soon rule on 2 Arizona cases that could defeat or embolden efforts to control how elections are conducted. But Taylor says unless there's overt discrimination involved,
the Supreme Court tends to try to back away from interfering in state operations of elections whenever possible.
So what's a voter to think of all this?
Don't believe that somehow you're going to lose your voting rights. However, at the same time, be concerned that there may be serious limitations on how you can actually vote.
If so, legal challenges are predicted. Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
Guadalupe County detectives hoping to get some new leads in the case of a woman who disappeared more than 35 years ago. Kathleen Laura Atwood Ranft disappeared back in 1985 in Guadalupe County. She was reported missing after she didn't show up for work one day. Her car was found at a nightclub, but no sign of Ranft. Investigators believe that she was killed, but her body has never been found. Texas Crime Stoppers increasing the reward for information that leads to an arrest in this case, doubling it to $6,000. If you have any info, call 1-800-252-TIPS.
A single bedroom. That's about all that burned in an overnight house fire in northeast Bexar County, but it was just luck that no one was hurt or died, firefighters say, because the home on Greenham Street near Montgomery Drive didn't have smoke detectors. As Katrina Weber reports, the fire itself, a wake-up call for the family.
Where there was lots of smoke, there also was fire inside this home in the 8300 block of Greenham. It broke out after 2 this morning as 3 people were in the middle of their night's sleep. Somehow one of them woke up just in time.
No smoke detectors, and woke the other residents up. They evacuated the house, tried to use a garden hose to put the fire out.
The others called 911, and it wasn't long before Bexar County firefighters were on the scene.
When the crew went into here, they found that one of the bedrooms was fully involved. They were able to contain the majority of the fire to that bedroom.
They had to rely on other agencies, including Windcrest and Converse, for help, though. The heat of the fire combined with the hot, humid weather made doing the job a challenge. You can tell just by looking at this how intense the heat was here. As firefighters pointed out, it melted the siding right off the house. Firefighters who were feeling the effects of the heat were able to recover quickly. However, a man who lives in the home had to be taken to a hospital. While trying to beat back the flames with the hose, he cut his finger on a window. The investigation into the cause of the fire is now in the hands of the fire marshal's office. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
He's been on the job for 1 week. For new District 1 City Councilman Mario Bravo, homelessness was a key issue in the race he won. But it's not clear yet how or when he plans to address that. The previous District 1 City Councilman, Roberto Trevino, allowed people to camp outside his District 1 field office in the Delview area, just off I-10, south of 410. The local neighborhood association there is hoping the new councilman will change that practice. But Bravo is not making any immediate moves.
We're not going to rush to anything. We're not looking for quick fixes. We're looking for long-term solutions that are going to be meaningful and, things that are going, how are we going to be able to help people to get off the streets? And it's not by making any quick changes this week.
Bravo hopes the downtown hotel that he and other council members agreed last week to lease and run as a shelter for the homeless could take in some of the people from outside the office. Sam Ministries, which will operate that shelter, says they likely won't be taking anyone in until late July.
New at 6 right now, 43 Bexar County foster children are sleeping in offices or hotel rooms because they have nowhere else to go. It is a crisis that rose out of the pandemic, and as Courtney Friedman reports, a local nonprofit and a restaurant group are teaming up to try to help.
Office buildings, now homes for 43 Bexar County foster children.
So they're referred to as CWAP kids, which are children without placement. There's a lot of factors that go into this. COVID is a big factor.
Jennifer Smith runs South Texas Alliance for Orphans and says families were worried to bring more people into their homes during a pandemic, and then an influx of child abuse cases came in when lockdown ended.
We just don't have enough space for these kids.
So she's teaming up with Richard Peacock, who owns the Duo restaurant group, including Chris Madrid's and Paloma Blanca.
As we learned more and more about this crisis going on in foster care, especially about these kids that are basically sleeping in offices, we had to get involved.
For 2 years now, the Peacocks have been working on long-term foster care initiatives, but heard about the immediate need and started to help pull in donations.
Mostly what we've been able to provide through donations from the community is sheets and blankets and pillows. We've done gift cards to restaurants. We just made a big donation to help the kids get haircuts.
Peacock says his main job is to get other local businesses involved, asking them to offer gift cards, fun activities, or find a way to donate.
I'm hoping some will say on Monday nights in August, we'll donate 20% of profits.
He says the possibilities are endless, as long as we all come together to help our community's most precious, voiceless, and vulnerable. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
Individual community members also encouraged to donate and get involved. To find out how you can help, head to KSAT.com for a link to the South Texas Alliance for Orphans website.
We have learned CPS Energy's senior legal team lodged internal complaints against its president and CEO, Paula Gold-Williams, in the weeks before the attorneys resigned from that utility. That's according to internal records obtained this week by the KSAT 12 defenders. CPS Energy did not release the contents of the complaints against Gold-Williams, but said in a written statement the claims and counterclaims were related to February's winter storm and the financial issues now facing that utility. Also in a statement, CPS Energy told KSAT 12 there are two sides to every story. However, they have not made Gold-Williams available for an interview to give her side of that internal conflict. Night in Old San Antonio now in full effect in La Villita.
It is a fiesta event that has taken place for more than 7 decades, benefiting the Conservation Society of San Antonio. Yes, it's right around the Artisan Theater where Myra was at this time last night.
And also our Japhanie Gray. She was out there and she is out there at La Villita once again tonight. Japhanie, oh, this is, you know, it's a fun, but it's a festive and hot gig. How are things going out there?
Oh, yes. Oh, man, it is filling up right now. And it's only been just a little bit more than 30 minutes, but that just goes to show how eager people were to get out and about, especially seeing as though NIOSA was canceled last year due to the pandemic. But I want to show you a difference here. Instead of the long lines being for food, as it normally would, check this line out that's right behind me. This bad boy right here is a line to get the new and improved wristband. Now, this is what people need in order to eat food or drink. Now, that's just one of the changes that are surrounding this event. It's going cashless and paperless. That's right, all technology. The tickets are purchased online at niosa.org, or you can make a purchase for right here at 2 spots, one at the CPS entrance and the other at the Hilton entrance. And again, there are the Blast Pass wristbands. That's what these people are in line for. That's where you'll be able to load up at one of the blue stations with money and use that to buy food and drinks. People are so excited about that, including the live music that is taking place right now. But they're more excited knowing that they are helping one of the nation's oldest and most active historic preservation organizations.
I think we purchased the new Blast Pass, and we probably went way overboard on it. But we know all the extra money is going to go to a good cause. So
way over many millions.
I mean, you think about how many years they've been doing this. So yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I remember coming here when I was
in high school.
Yeah, in high school.
Yeah, so again, people are super excited. Just have your patience if you're going to get in this wristband line so you can eat and drink. Of course, everybody is going to have a good time today, and organizers are encouraging those of you who are not fully vaccinated, just wear a face mask, just to be on the safe side. I'll have a wrap-up of tonight's event for night 1 of NIOSA. And in the meantime, I'll send it back to you guys up next.
There's also a vaccination event happening at NIOSA this year.
Yeah, I think there's like 3 locations in La Villita where you could get vaccinated.
Yeah.
All right. It is not as hot temperature-wise as yesterday, but our friend humidity's still way up there.
Oh, yeah, we can't shake the humidity this time of year. We even had a weak cool front move through last night, but the humidity didn't get swept away this time around. 75 this morning, then we topped out at 90, which is actually 3 degrees below average, but that humidity is just so high. Helotes at 91, along with Stinson, Pleasanton as well. Seguin 88 this evening, warm and sticky. Temperatures making it into the upper 70s by midnight. We'll talk about a sunny and warm stretch, and then our next chance of storms coming right up.
Transit ridership in San Antonio is on the rebound following the pandemic, and VIA is making some changes in response to shifting demand.
Our Samuel King joins us now. Samuel, the VIA board meeting right now to discuss some of these changes.
Yes, we were just checking in on. You can see the presentation actually during their meeting, Stephen Myra. Several routes will see buses run more frequently, while other routes will be combined. One major change tied to a major construction project on the north side. The new Highway 281 on the north side will soon include high occupancy vehicle or HOV lanes between Stone Oak Parkway and Loop 1604. And those lanes will have a direct flyover bridge to VIA's Stone Oak Park and Ride.
Our buses that will be taking multiple passengers on either the express or other routes that we're going to introduce to the system out in that area of town will indeed help our buses and passengers get into the HOV lane much smoother and efficiently from that parking garage.
And ahead of the anticipated opening of those lanes later this year, VIA plans to adjust some of its express routes on the north side. Currently, the express route that runs from the Park and Ride is suspended, but that will soon change. 2 routes will be combined. The new Route 7 will run from the Stone Oak Park and Ride to downtown every 30 minutes during the day, and then every 60 minutes during rush hour from downtown to Brook City Base. VIA is also adding more buses on several other routes, including McCullough and Rigsby, as the system begins to recover from the COVID-19 pandemic.
The less time you spend traveling on our system, the more attractive it becomes for the individual. That's why frequency is so vitally important for a system like ours.
And VIA saw ridership drop by 50% at one point during the pandemic, but in recent months that has begun to turn around. Once approved, the service changes will take effect on August 23rd. Now, as for this evening's traffic, you're taking a look at 281 at Bitters. Traffic flowing well there as we head over to the traffic wall, so that's good. But once you get to Loop 410, we are seeing some issues. But first, some travel times in this north area. Forgot I put that in there. 8 to 9 minutes between Tixanofor and Bulverde Road. That's pretty good, a sign that that project is really making a difference. 410, you're going to see some delays once you get there. Had some major issues on the west side this evening. This crash we were telling you about at 5 at 1604 at 410, excuse me, and Highway 90 has cleared, but we are still seeing some delays here for Loop 410 at Callahan following an earlier crash. And one more check here of a Transguide, and let's take you to the northeast side. You're still going to be sitting in traffic at 35 in Walsham this evening, so let folks know about that.
All right, thanks, Samuel.
That doesn't look like a treat at I-35 in Walsham.
No, AC's got to be cranking. I don't know if anybody could tell yesterday. It was a little hot along the river.
Yeah, they couldn't tell, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if anyone, clued into that, given all the confetti and the...
Any discerning viewers maybe could tell that, it was warm?
We did the best we could.
You did great.
Didn't we, Caskey?
We
did the best we could.
And the coloring from the cascarones and even the confetti stained my forehead.
I noticed that was happening during the parade.
Totally worth it, don't get me wrong. But it definitely, I scrubbed as hard as I could and it still had it on this morning.
Some people would pay good money for that. You got it for free.
See? There we go. Totally worth it. That's what you got to love about Fiesta. So we topped out at 90 degrees today. That's 3 degrees below average. The record 101. And that was set back in 1906. That's a long-standing record. Elsewhere, Kerrville, 85. Fredericksburg had a high of 83. Meanwhile, 95. Cotulla and Del Rio, 94. All right, let's start with temperatures and the heat that we have this week. Then we'll jump into our next chance of rain. Let's take a look at the state. 91 Amarillo and Lubbock, El Paso at 100. Usually I point out Laredo as one of the hot spots on the map. Oh, not today because they actually have a little bit of shower activity down there in Laredo and Webb County. So 75 right now in Laredo. You go up I-35 though, 94 Cotulla, 88 San Antonio, and 90 in New Braunfels. So let's talk about temperatures the rest of the week. Tomorrow we'll make it up to 93. Thursday, Friday, 96, 97. So you see we keep adding on a few degrees every day, and then you see a slope back downward by the end of the weekend and into next week. That's because of a shift that we're expecting in our weather pattern. Of course, we still have the humidity out there. Dew points well into the 70s. We can't shake free from the high humidity, and that's making it feel like it's about 5 to 8 degrees warmer than the actual air temperatures. But that humidity helped generate some good rainfall last night for parts of Central and South Texas, and some good maintenance rain to keep us drought free, especially in the hill country. Some accumulations were on the order of 2 to 4 inches in parts of Edwards County, even Real County, and just south of Del Rio. Some impressive accumulations of an inch or more. But at the airport in town here, 0.04 of an inch. Meanwhile, Stinson on the south side had over an inch. So as usual with rain, it's hit or miss. And right now it's hitting down closer to Laredo, still a little bit near Cuero, and even right over city of Cuero and DeWitt County. This activity should really come to an end as we lose our daytime heating and the sun sets. Then we're going to see the big blue H paying us a visit again. Right now it's just off to the west, but it's going to plant itself pretty much directly overhead in the coming days, and that's going to keep us rain-free. And just a sunny stretch here, typical late June weather is going to be on tap for the rest of the work week. And then the high moves out. It moves westward, and as we get into Sunday and early next week, it opens the door for some disturbances to affect our weather, and that's when we have rain chances back in the forecast. Starting Sunday afternoon, I think even slightly better chance on Monday, some scattered or widely separated activity, and then that trend is going to last through, I think, about the middle part of next week. As for tomorrow, just some low clouds in the morning, a 10% chance of an afternoon pop-up shower, otherwise a decent amount of sunshine. 75 in the morning, 93 the high, southeasterly breeze at 5 to 15. Get back into the mid to upper 90s Thursday, Friday, and then those rain chances back in the picture, cooling us down a little bit early next week.
All right, thanks, Adam.
All right, he's the pride of San Antonio's boxing community. I guess it's appropriate he took a right hook to make it to San Antonio after training in California, Greg.
And to punch his ticket to Atlanta, if you don't mind.
Thank you for playing along, Greg.
Mario Barrios is the world champion in San Antonio. The first time we've had one in over 20 years. And look at the entrance he made today off of that nice private charter jet. When we come back, more about what he has to say for his big title defense and do the Longhorns survive in Omaha. Coming up.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
When the Dallas Cowboys kick off their training camp in California less than a month from now after a year-long absence due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it'll be our first opportunity to hear from Cowboy star running back Ezekiel Elliott. Whether it's the fact he's facing 2 legal matters involving his dogs or coming off the worst season of his career, he has avoided talking to the media. He's facing a lawsuit after claims Zeke's Rottweiler bit a person back in March, and then this past May, he was cited by police in Frisco after 3 of his dogs got out, and one of them, the Rottweiler, bit 2 people that had to be taken to the hospital. But he's also coming off a season where he only averaged a career low 4 yards per carry with only 6 touchdowns. But the worst of it was he had a career high 6 fumbles and 5 lost. That said, we have seen video of him working out recently, and we have to rely on others to give us an update, like his teammates.
Zeke looks great. I mean, Zeke's in the best shape of his life, looking fast. Obviously, everybody's seen the clips of him working out independently with his running back coach, and his cuts, just how explosive he is. Excited just to have a full year with him again and getting him healthy throughout the whole season. Once again, when Zeke's healthy and Zeke's doing his thing, he's the best running back in the league. So it's just exciting to see him in the best shape of his life, or best shape of he's been in the NFL, and know that it's going to be special for us moving forward.
He's definitely been locked in. You know, I can tell he's, you know, took the right step forward this offseason, you know, getting his body right and getting in shape. And, you know, me and him, you know, we also worked out together a lot of times during the offseason. So, you know, we both were locked in this offseason getting ready.
We'll find out when the Cowboys report to Oxnard on July the 20th, and we will be there. This week in San Antonio, world champion Mario Barrios will put his WBA super lightweight title on the line when he faces Gervonta Davis in the main event on Showtime's worldwide card from Atlanta. El Azteca is 26-0, 17 knockouts, while his opponent Davis is also undefeated at 24-0 with 23 knockouts, moving up in 2 weight classes to fight Barrios. Before stepping into the ring on Saturday, Barrios held a press conference at San Antonio's International Airport today, complete with Aztec warriors playing drums and dancing. Quite the entrance for El Azteca.
This was new, but I mean, it was nice. I mean, it's very motivating. It just, you know, it's a reminder of everything, you know, that is unfolding in front of me, and all the hard work that I had to continue on putting in.
All right, if you'd like to purchase the Barrios Davis pay-per-view main event and the resulting undercard on Saturday, you can do so at $69.99. It is a great day at the ballpark for this little Longhorn fan with a cotton candy ready to cheer on his favorite team in an elimination game against Tennessee Volunteers in the College World Series. Bottom of the second, Horns down 2. Eric Kennedy at the plate. With runners on second and third, with a swing of the bat, the Horns take the lead just like that. The 3-run blast to right gives Texas a 1-run edge. The Vols would tie it up at game 4, and at the top of the 4th, but the Horns charge forward in the bottom of the inning. Silas Ardoin, the RBI single to right, 1 run easily scores. Doug Hodo is way home. Here you see the play at the plate, and he beats the tag, 6-4 Texas, but they're not finished. Cam Williams, an RBI single to left, makes it a 3-run game. Texas lives to play another day. 8-4 the final on that one. Coming up tonight on the Night Beat, we'll have an update on who wins the NBA draft lottery and where do the Spurs finish.
We'll know by 10.
We will.
All right, thanks, Greg.
Our KSAT Q&A is up next.
KSAT Q&A, we are here with San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg. He joins us live from Nyosa, and I want to point out the mayor, no matter what you may think of him, is a smart man because he's inside an office that I'm hoping is air conditioned at Nyosa. So I know you just did your opening activities there in La Villita. Talk about what you've experienced so far with Fiesta and how this compares to what you were fearing just a few months ago.
Well, so the feeling out here is just exuberance and joy. It's like a giant family reunion, honestly, Steve. After what our community has been through over the last year and a half, there's just been a sense of overwhelming almost catharsis for our community, and what people are experiencing, I think, is gratitude, but on a different level, knowing that so many of us have lost loved ones, neighbors, friends, and family members to this pandemic, and so it's giving us a new appreciation for what we do have.
You know, out at the River Parade last night, that was really the feeling from so many people, just the appreciation of being able to be there and the appreciation for something normal, a word I don't think any of us will take for granted after this past year. But there's still an effort underway to try to get more people protected from COVID-19 in our community, one that they can take advantage of at NIOSA, for example. Talk a little bit about some of those vaccination efforts happening out at these Fiesta events. There have already been some, so have they been successful so far? And just kind of explain the opportunity there for people.
Yeah, and thank you for pointing that out, Myra. We are in a much different place, a much better place than we were even a few months ago, but we're still not done. We do have to get everyone in our community protected. We have mobile vaccination clinics set up. We haven't reached that quote-unquote herd immunity. So while people who are vaccinated are protecting themselves and protecting other people, people who are not getting vaccinated yet or who have not been vaccinated, even though they're eligible, are taking their health into their own hands. And we want to prevent that. We want to make sure that people are protected. So we have mobile vaccination clinics. They've been very successful and popular. They're part of Fiesta now. And there's also a sense of urgency on this because we've seen the Delta variant and other variants occur in other communities. Thankfully not here, so we want to make sure that we get ahead of that and get as many people vaccinated as possible. And thankfully we've been ahead of the game respective to other communities, but we still want to make sure that we reach everyone. If you want a vaccine and you're eligible, there is one waiting for you. It's free. You don't have to wait. You don't have to get on a list. You can come in and get vaccinated immediately.
Obviously, we're still not doing the daily we're not doing the daily updates that you used to do, or even the twice weekly updates that you did. But are we still running ahead of where most of Texas is? And are you seeing the numbers continue to climb when it comes to immunizations? And is there an age group that we need to do better with?
Yeah, well, so we are continuing to do better. We're continuing to see vaccinations roll out. In fact, we are now over 50% who are fully vaccinated. In fact, we're over 70%, I believe. We're right at that mark who have at least one vaccination. So we are doing very well. And irrespective to other communities nationally and in Texas, we are either on pace or ahead of the pace. With respect to the transmission of the virus, we are also doing quite well. As you know, for the last few months, our positivity rate has dipped well below 2%. We've stayed there. So we want to continue to protect folks. Want to remind you, if you haven't been fully vaccinated yet, you should be wearing a mask. If you have been vaccinated, go out and enjoy yourself.
We know you and the rest of San Antonio are ready to party with a purpose, but there is certainly some city business we would like to ask about. Something that's definitely been affected by the pandemic is the budget that the city is trying to come up with for the next fiscal year. There were certainly some significant cuts made because of the pandemic, but also millions of dollars the city is expecting to get in federal relief. So talk to us about where the budget process is right now and how you think things are shaking out coming out of this pandemic.
Well, I would say that we have prepared ourselves by being realistic and conservative with our fiscal management during the pandemic. So as you know, last year, in the height of the pandemic, we were trimming back expenses so that we wouldn't be in a situation where we had to drastically cut back services, essential services, when we were coming out of the pandemic. So the City Council will be going into its goal-setting budget session that starts the process for the fiscal year on Friday. We are also anticipating what priorities we will need to increase, such as our healthcare infrastructure in our community, as well as infrastructure and transportation needs and open space that perhaps were throttled a little bit last year. So we're going to be going through those priorities this Friday. At the same time, we are working with our partners at the county and our federal and state partners as well to anticipate the rulemaking that's going to occur with the millions of dollars that the federal government is releasing for recovery. Those dollars are going to go likely to infrastructure works, transportation. Again, we are are excited about the Creekway Trails development, making sure that people have affordable housing here in our community, places they can afford to live. And so we're going to go all through all those priorities over the next few days, ultimately goal setting on Friday, and then that begins our budgeting process immediately after.
San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg, appreciate your time. Love the Fiesta vest, by the way. I don't know if I've told you that. And also, I was trying to get Japhanie Gray there to kind of throw some wood shards at you like you did for me at Fiesta, but, you know, she's too nice for that. So
she is indeed.
Thank you for your time.
Enjoy a night in Old San Antonio.
Thank you. You too.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. Some construction to tell you about tonight. This is on the northeast side, Pat Booker Road at Loop 1604. That intersection will have a full closure starting at 9 this evening, so in just a couple of hours until 5 a.m. I know there's a lot of people maybe to head over to Randolph and work in that area on the northeast side over early in the morning, so that's something you're going to encounter beginning tonight and running through tomorrow morning, and this is actually going to last all week. Told you a little bit earlier about the situation at 35 in Walsham. Still some slowdowns, down to 9 miles per hour in that area. Also watching some slowdowns and some issues here on Loop 410. Most of that traffic is improving, but we did have an issue here. Loop 410 at Broadway. Still see some police vehicles out there as well as the fire department. There was a crash here. Looks to be clearing shortly, not really impacting traffic too much, but we'll keep an eye on it, guys.
All right, thanks, Samuel. Look outside with live cam. 89 degrees out there. I am very happy to be inside an air-conditioned studio.
I'm guessing you probably have a new appreciation for just air conditioning in general.
Oh, don't I? Caskey and I walked into the station after the parade last night. Oh, it was such relief.
I saw you guys.
It was like a whole new feeling, right? That I've never had before. And you really do appreciate air conditioning a lot more. I mean, there's a time it wasn't that long ago where folks didn't have air conditioning.
There's still a lot of people in our community that don't.
So, exactly. Yeah. So this evening, temperatures gradually falling through the 80s. A few isolated showers east of San Antonio. We'll be down in the upper 70s by midnight tonight. We're going to talk about the heat and even our next chance of storms, which is just around the corner. Straight ahead.
Sometimes the elephant in the room is actually an elephant in the room. This is what a woman living near a national park in Thailand woke up to over the weekend. After some crashing and some banging, this elephant was rummaging through her kitchen with its trunk, probably looking for food. Now, one wouldn't think this is all that common.
Yeah, but the hole in the wall was already there from where an elephant broke it last month. Wildlife officials say they're seeing more encounters like this as human developments encroach on natural habitats. This particular pachyderm, no stranger, by the way, it's got its own name. Boon Chuai. That old Boon Chuai.
Not making too many friends, though. All right, a lot of people, as we could see, heading out to Nyosa, other festivities over the next couple days. We know it's going to be hot.
Yes.
But how hot?
Well, we're going to crank it up a little bit more as we go through the week. And, of course, Fiesta in June, something we haven't really done before. And one thing that really affects you out there that we noticed last night is, you know, the sunset is after 8:30 p.m. It's significantly earlier when you have Fiesta in April, and that makes a big difference as well. A few lingering showers to talk about out there this evening. Of course, we had some soaking rain last night in parts of our area. We'll take a look at those accumulations. The sunny and hot stretch the rest of this week, and then more rain chances are around the corner. Some more maintenance rain to keep us drought free. Take a look at this maintenance rain, especially in the hill country last night on into this morning. We had some pockets of very heavy rainfall. Northern Real County, 4.5 inches. Barksdale, just over 3.5. You get to Del Rio, 1.73. Even City of Medina, just over an inch. Stinson on the south side of San Antonio, almost 1.8. And then, of course, some locations really didn't see anything. International Airport in town, 0.04 of an inch officially in San Antonio. But as usual with rain, the amounts vary significantly all across our area. So here's a look at the radar now over the past hour. A little bit of activity still east of San Antonio along the coastal plain, especially DeWitt County, a little bit in Lavaca County. This is dissipating as it pushes westward. Just some nice little downpours out there to help keep the grass growing and keep things looking better on some of the ranches and pastures and farm areas as well. Webb County, we still have a few lingering showers and thunderstorms down south of us, down I-35. And this activity isn't expected to last all that much longer. As we lose the sunlight, lose our daytime heating, a lot of this will come to an end. But there is a little bit of energy that's out there that could keep a few showers going overnight tonight, south of Corpus Christi and Laredo. Around here, I think will be dry. Then the big blue H, the heat high, that's going to be settling in for the rest of this week and even to start the weekend. So that's going to basically just keep us rain-free, and we're going to warm up a little bit as well. We'll see our temperatures tick upward a little bit later on this week. But then by Sunday, that high moves westward, and as I always say, that opens the door for some disturbances, and I do think we'll have some opportunities for showers and thunderstorms as that heat high moves out. That starts on Sunday. So Sunday through at least the early part of next week, at least some isolated to scattered or widely separated showers and storms back into the picture. Until then, we're dealing with some warmer temperatures. 88 right now, dew point is 72, so it feels like it's 7 degrees warmer than the actual air temperature. Heat indices, 101 Gonzales, 105 Del Rio, and Pleasanton feels like 99. So it feels like it's about 5 to 8 degrees warmer than the actual air temperatures. You look at Laredo with the rain that's been down in the vicinity of Laredo, 75 degrees right now. Usually that's the hot spot on the map, but you head up to Cotulla, it's 94. And even Del Rio, 95. Those are the warmer locations. The Hill Country, Kerrville now at 85. Tomorrow morning, we'll be in the lower 70s in the Hill Country, mid-70s elsewhere. We're thinking 77 Gonzales, Hondo, and Uvalde 75. Then by tomorrow afternoon, low to mid-90s here around San Antonio. Even Canyon Lake 94. You get to Uvalde 95 and 98 in Cotulla, a little closer to the century mark there. Helotes 93, Converse, New Braunfels 94. So we'll start the day with some low clouds. Then a lot of sunshine into the afternoon, that typical trend. Southeasterly breeze at 5 to 15, and that's going to keep us pretty muggy out there. We'll see a little drop in the humidity during the afternoon hours the next couple of days, but temperatures are going to offset that. I mean, we're looking at 96, 97 by Thursday and Friday into the weekend, low to mid 90s. But notice as those storm chances are back in the picture, temperatures drop off a little bit closer to 90 early next week.
A little bit.
Just a tad.
In case you missed it, coming up next. Here's today's In Case You Missed It.
Tuesday, it is June 22nd.
And I want to be clear about what just happened on the Senate floor. Every single Senate Republican just voted against starting debate on legislation to protect Americans' voting rights.
Too often it's been said Americans take voting for granted, but now?
Do you think democracy is in jeopardy?
I'd like to think it's not in jeopardy. It's definitely been dinged.
He's been on the job for 1 week. For new District 1 City Councilman Mario Bravo, homelessness was a key issue in the race he won. But it's not clear yet how or when he plans to address that. The previous District 1 City Councilman, Roberto Trevino, allowed people to camp outside his District 1 field office in the Delview area, just off I-10 south of 410. The local neighborhood association there is hoping the new councilman will change that practice. But Bravo is not making any immediate moves.
Office buildings, now homes for 43 Bexar County foster children.
So they're referred to as CWAP kids, which are children without placement. There's a lot of factors that go into this. COVID is a big factor.
Jennifer Smith runs South Texas Alliance for Orphans and says families were worried to bring more people into their homes during a pandemic, and then an influx of child abuse cases came in when lockdown ended.
We just don't have enough space for these kids.
How are things going out there?
Oh, yes. Oh, man, it is filling up right now, and it's only been just a little bit more than 30 minutes, but that just goes to show how eager people were to get out and about.
KSAT Explains is now 1 year old. From an exploration of the myths surrounding the Battle of the Alamo to a look at our city's history and future as a beer town. The show's covered a wide range of topics in the last 12 months. To mark the first anniversary of KSAT Explains, our team is sharing what we've learned working on this show so far. 1 year of KSAT Explains will be live streamed tonight at 7, just a few minutes away on the KSAT 12 Facebook page, KSAT.com, and the KSAT TV app. And to watch any past episodes of KSAT Explains on demand, go to ksat.com/explains.
1 year down, but they still have a lot of explaining to do.
Yes, we do.
Including they had a very good piece on transportation, a two-parter.
That's
so that
right,
is
we
also
did, Samuel.
available on demand. And
that seems like that'd be something right up your lane.
Right.
You don't have to laugh. It's okay.
Speaking of which, hey, I'm still in the honeymoon period here. Anyway, slow down on 35 in Walsham because we have a stalled tractor trailer there on 35 in Thousand Oaks, and that is causing this delay that you see here. So if you know folks heading on the northeast side, heading away from San Antonio this evening, they're going to encounter that, Adam.
Yeah, it's definitely right up his alley, Steve. There you go.
Now, that's but alley's not really necessarily.
I think I win this one here. Thanks, Myra, for your support. All right, so we get into the end of the week. We'll be about 97 the high by Friday. Storm chances back in the picture Sunday into next week. I need to drag this out so Steve can't get in a last word. We're just going to.
I just was going to say, note Samuel is not even participating in this right now.
You will eventually, Samuel. You'll be forced to.
See you on the Night Beat at 10.
Thanks for watching.